PJ Whitbeck today?
Yeah, he's supposed to be in. I talked to him. He came
Yeah,
in.
he
He
did.
came in the office.
He didn't answer the group request that I sent, that's all.
Well, we'll have to scold him for that. But I did talk. I did talk
Oh,
to him.
yeah.
He came in.
Fine, and make him put a quarter in the jar.
Give up half his salary.
Iced tea only.
Is that a Long Island iced tea?
No, it's a Plattsburgh iced tea.
Oh, that's no fun.
They're only made, that's made with other alcohol. No. Okay. And as we know, I don't know, everybody understands that Prime, we had a meeting Wednesday, and they had talked about being here. Who knows what changes they made Wednesday besides me and Kelly? Do you know, Kath? Do you know what changes they made Wednesday? Prime?
Who are you asking?
Huh? I'm asking you, Kath.
Me? No, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so I will send out a report about that, but I'm not even going to really discuss it here now, but only because it may change even more from then. They made some pretty significant changes, but they're not on the agenda because I thought they were going to have a little more final material Wednesday, and they didn't, which is okay. And then they said they were going to be ready, but I think they realized that they aren't, and I think there were some other discussions and stuff like that. So, and so they on Friday said that they wanted to be taken off the agenda for this month, and that they'd be back in August with more revised plans. We did get a lot of comments and stuff. Then I don't really want to address any of them about Prime tonight, although I would like to make a small statement during the meeting. I don't even know if anybody's going to listen from those groups or not, because it's one thing to talk about stuff on social media. Hey, PJ, welcome to the zoning board, PJ. Well, you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself with the space bar. Okay, can you hear me, PJ? Yeah, you have to push the space bar and it'll unmute yourself.
There we
Now
go.
say hi.
Sorry, I was trying to get logged on. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Hi, PJ. Welcome to the zoning board.
Thank you.
And I don't know who you know on the zoning board or not. It's not going to get you anywhere, I can tell you that. Okay. But anyway, you know me, Ron. Chairman Megan Whedon. Do you know Megan?
Hi, Megan.
No, Robin's daughter, but we won't hold that against her. Ellie Gent, another real estate agent. Kelly Porter, school counselor, correct, Kelly? Is that what? No, what are you?
Psychologist.
School. Huh?
Psychologist.
Psychologist. Joe McMahon is not on the board, but we know Joe. Kathleen Inslee, Kathy.
Kathy.
You may know her from real estate practice. And Scott Germain is not here this evening. He's up in the Tri-Lakes, making sure they're doing everything right on the lake. But anyway, welcome to the board. You're an alternate. We have, I think Megan became the regular member, and Ellie, you're still the alternate, I guess. We do I'll just tell you, we like alternates to try and attend as much as possible. Even if you're not needed, because you get to understand how we work stuff and what happens. You don't have any training. We want to get your training out of the way in the next 6 months or so. You're required to have 4 hours. We'll talk about that. The county puts stuff on, and you can do stuff online. And you've been to a couple meetings, but not a ton of them, as an applicant. But I think it's a pretty interesting process. We have a lot of say in how our community evolves and grows. So I think that it's pretty fun. I mean, we do it because it's a blast, frankly, right? Doesn't everybody do this because it's so much fun, right?
Thank-
Anyway, so we have our 6:30 meeting now where we discuss normally what's going on, and we will in a minute. And then at 7, the meeting starts. Normally we'd meet downstairs, but we're not going near there. So I was just discussing the fact that, anyway, Prime will be back in August. I'm going to be reaching out to them because I had a couple questions and suggestions. They'll be back in August with some changes. I will tell you, they made some fairly decent changes. They're getting closer. But anyway, I started talking about these comments, and I'll just say that, first of all, there's an impression that we don't read the comments anymore, that we've all settled into what we think or like or don't like about. This is a social media thing now, and that we don't read the comments, and it got suggested that we might not, and has now become sort of social media fact and lore. And I'm going to set that, when Prime is back here, that record straight. But the other thing I'll tell you is I'd like you to read the comments, which I know you're going to do anyway or have done, because we got most of them for Prime before next month. And one of them in particular I found relatively offensive. And, you know, I don't get always offended, but it was from one of the people that often comments and called us, I guess, either misguided or misinformed. So it's one thing if you want to say that on social media, but if you can put that in the record, I get a little offended. And anyway, I'll talk more about that at another point, but we're not doing Prime tonight. I'm not even going to discuss all the public comments about Prime because they're about the Prime. They're not about the 4 issues we have tonight. Does everybody agree that we don't really need to do anything about Prime tonight? Okay. All right. So we have 4 things on the agenda. And some are easier than others. The first, what did I do with my agenda? Anyway, the agenda, the first one is Denise Nephew. Oh, here we go. And Denise, this is a special use permit, request to place the fence. Exceeds 6 feet in the rear yard. These are allowed as a special use permit. They're basically a matter of right in this particular case. Sometimes we're finding they're not a matter of right, such as with Prime, say. But anyway, this is a special use permit. She's allowed to have that fence. She's got all the stuff. Does anybody have any questions about the Denise Nephew application? No. I want, Shalice, thank you for struggling through this part-time paperwork fiasco you're stuck in. And eventually we'll get this down. It's tough. It's not easy. There's all kinds of stuff. And we're used to certain ways we like our packets and we're fussy about it. But I really appreciate the extra work that you put in it. Okay.
Thank you for your patience while I'm figuring it out too. So thank you.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not easy. This isn't like normal times. And so, and I was thrown off by the
Online forms.
So, but anyway, so Denise, I think that if you look at her application, it's pretty simple. It's a special use permit. I don't see any questions with that. The second one is the same thing. Alina Arlena Feller, Leonard Avenue, to place a fence that exceeds 6 feet in the rear yard. And again, I don't see, I mean, it's a special use permit. They're not really an issue. Does anybody have questions about the Leonard Avenue one at all? No. Now, Peter, are you getting your packets and stuff emailed to you and everything? Okay, great. So Leonard Avenue, I mean, it's relatively, Joe, you can explain, or Kyle, one of the two of you, what's going on with those, I assume. We have long form seekers because they're special use permits. So that's going to require a motion for a negative finding, we'll say. Okay. And then that starts to, it gets a little more complex with the third one, which is 17 Daily, remove and replace a garage. And we should talk about the variances are because it's, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, or Kyle, but this is because it's where it's too close to the property line. Because it's an existing footprint, number one, and number two, that there's a height issue, correct?
Yes, both.
Both. And can you tell me, I just want to make sure that the maximum average height of the roof can be what?
12
14?
feet. 12.
12 feet. 12. And if this is an 18 by 18 garage that starts at 9'2" to the top of the wall, we'll say, to the underside of the rafters, which is the same as top of wall. And you've got 9 feet, half of that is 4.5 feet. So that we're about, plus the thickness of the other. So we're about 9'8", we'll call it, counting the bottom chord, plus 9 feet, or half, 13, about 13, almost 14 feet. So is it about 2 feet that it exceeds the allowed height?
Yeah, I had it at 13.8.
13, yeah, okay. That's the 9'2" plus the 6. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Although I think it might be a little bit more because that, it looks to me like the 9'2" comes to the bottom of the truss, and then you've got the thickness of that plus the 9 feet. But he also had a truss drawing that may be different. But anyway, 13'8" to 14 feet, around 2 feet difference, 1'8" to 2 foot.
Yeah, yes.
More than allowed, right? But it's a pretty small garage. I mean, it's not like he's gonna have much of an activity up in that little storage space, right? It's
I would agree, yes.
right. So does anybody have questions about the garage or the footprint being, that is where the existing one is though, correct,
Yes,
Joe?
yes.
Right, he's not going any closer. But I guess one of the questions it doesn't seem, he can't come in, Joe, do you think? Can he alleviate, because he's putting a new foundation in, correct?
You'll have to ask him. I haven't actually spoken to him, so I don't know the details of exactly why he can or can't move it.
Yeah, okay. But it's not on the existing foundation. He's pouring, because he's got a thing for the concrete, right? He's pouring a new slab. Right?
It appears that way, yes.
Yeah, okay, so we'll talk to him and see. But does anybody have questions other than that, once we determine what's going on with it? No. And then the last one is Jim Abdallah. And let me get to that. And that one, do people have questions about it? He's a little closer than he's allowed with the paving, et cetera. Why, for some reason I can't find it, but I'm sure it's in here. Here we are. Yep. Do people have questions about Abdallah at all?
So
If I
there
could
are-
just,
Good.
I just want to make sure everybody understands that when he built his house, he got a variance for the 1 foot on that side. That's the south side. He's 1 foot too close to the property line on the south side. And so now he wants to build a covered porch, the full width of the house, which would be into that 1 foot area where he got a variance. It'd be a 1 foot by the width of the porch, 8 feet. So that's the one variance. That's the one variance. And then the other one is he taking down his garage. That's down already. He wants to repave that area in the back, and the paving will be closer than 3 feet to the property line.
Does he already have existing paving though, like right on the line, or?
They do have paving back there, but I think it's being removed. It may be, they had a garage there, so it may be concrete. They may want to do it all uniform, but I think the paving is going to be closer to that north side.
I was talking about like closer to the road, closer to Prospect. Just from the map, it looks like they already have existing paving that's on the line.
Right.
Is that how I'm reading it?
Yeah,
And is that something they would have gotten a variance for before?
Yeah, whatever they have there now is there now. Right. That's,
it's,
I
Joe?
believe that was existing originally. So we're
I-
talking about the new area in the back.
Okay.
yeah, I think that if you look at that property line up where the existing paved driveway is, it looks like it's right to it. Then it comes back, and what he's talking about for the one, as far as I can tell, for the 1'4" is in the back with this proposed 240 square foot paved driveway extension.
Yes.
And I think
Right.
that's the part that, in other words, when he extends the driveway in his backyard.
That's right. That's the
Now-
shaded area. The shaded area on there is
Right.
what's new, and that needs a variance.
Do we know if, given that 1 foot setback variance previously, were there any stipulations that he would not do any enclosure or anything like that?
No,
No, you don't know, or no, there wasn't anything?
no, there wasn't.
And it's on the lot is how wide?
The lot is 58 feet wide.
So that's a deeded deficiency from 75, Joe?
That's right.
Okay, so his actual requirement is the 7.8 foot side yard setback on that side, right?
That's right.
Right. So and he already has it, except for so it's 8 feet by 1 foot on the porch, right? The rest of it's fine. The whole rest of the porch is fine. Is
Yes,
that correct?
that is
So
correct,
it's
because
8
the house was set back
Right.
from the front 35 feet to begin with. So it's not a projection into the required front yard. It's only that
Right.
1 foot.
Right. What are the proposed in-ground pool, hot tub, pergola, and all those? Do they have anything to do with building coverage?
Yeah, the pool doesn't, but the outbuildings do, and they're at or below the 25%.
Counting those proposed ones, so that's my question.
Yes,
Right. In other words, they're part of it.
that's right.
We're not approved. We're not looking at that because there's no variances required for that.
No,
Right, okay. So the two things are an area of new paving. I can't tell you, but if it's less than 25 feet, right?
yeah,
25 feet by 1 foot, 8 at the worst part,
yeah, it's closer to 10 feet.
about 10 feet of it, okay. And then the other is just a little sliver
Yep,
along, yeah, okay. Is that clear to everybody? By the way, the neighbors must really like him because they all wrote up, please let him have it, so. But I mean, really, right? Everybody around him, pretty much. So, Any questions on it otherwise? So I think we're not in bad shape on these. Do we want to discuss about the ratification?
Sure, if you want. So it's been quite a while. We've had Corey Auerbach as our attorney for the Churchy Street project application. You know, having our own counsel is something that is is permitted in the city code. We, through Ron, signed a retainer agreement to hire him. And the plan was, because we were trying to do that expeditiously and not hold anything up as far as, you know, our review with him and starting in using his services. I think our plan was to ratify as a board the fact that Ron entered into that retainer agreement, but I don't believe we ever did that. So that's something I thought we should handle tonight. It's just the first meeting we've had since it occurred to us that we never did that. So, so my plan is to make a motion to ratify the execution of retainer agreement for Corey and vote on that.
Right, and you have the date that I signed that?
Not right in front of me, but I'll grab it. I'll have it ready.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it would just be part of the motion as of that date, right? Okay. Hey, Joe, as an aside, do you know if Corey got paid?
I don't know. I never even saw the agreement.
I'm
No, but
quite
you know if he
confident he
got
has not been
You
paid at
saw
all.
the bill. What's that, Shalice?
I'm quite confident he has not been paid yet at all.
Has not been paid. Okay. Well, we should find out about that then. It was not a small bill. It wasn't huge, but it wasn't. It's more than your allowances, I can tell you that, anybody in this room. Okay, so we'll find that out. I did notify Corey that Prime was not coming tonight, so we didn't worry about it. Other than that, what do we have otherwise that we want to do tonight? We want to go to, these should not take too long, any of them, I don't believe. So we'll try and get this done quickly. Joe, Shalice, do we have any conflicts at all? Anybody too close, property, anything?
Not that I'm aware of, Joe.
Yeah. Did you do the circle or whatever? You know, there's a circle, 500-foot circle.
I did not do the circle.
Okay. Joe does the circle a lot. Joe, are you there?
I am here. I had to let Kyle in.
That's okay. Do you know, were there no conflicts, correct?
There were no conflicts. No.
Okay. Did I mention that all these people work for Luck Builders that applied tonight?
Yes,
Um,
you should state that.
But that's okay. It doesn't affect me because I'm not responsible for those jobs. Anyway, all right. We'll be going up. I guess we might as well get out of this then and go to the 7 o'clock meeting. It can take a minute or two to do that. Is that okay with everyone or anything else before we do that? Okay. I'll see you later. I'm leaving. I'm going to the other one.